Has this ever happened to you? You go to bed feeling completely fine, and then without warning, you wake up, and something is just different. Perhaps you can't quite lift your arm, or your words feel jumbled, or your balance just isn't there. It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? That a single moment could change everything, without pain, without a clear sign beforehand. We often worry about the big things: diet, exercise, stress. But what if something you're doing, something you believe is helping you, is actually putting your brain at risk silently while you sleep? Many of us, especially as we get a little older, turn to supplements, hoping to safeguard our health. We want stronger bones, more energy, a sharper memory. And it's true, many vitamins are incredibly beneficial. But there's a hidden side to this coin, a quiet danger that most people never consider. Certain vitamins, particularly in high doses or taken at the wrong time, can become a silent threat to your brain. Today I want to talk about 5 common vitamins that, surprisingly, might be increasing your risk of stroke, brain bleeds, or dangerous blood pressure spikes, especially in the vulnerable early morning hours. If you've ever taken vitamin D, E, B6, A, or niacin, this conversation could truly be life-changing for you. Let's begin with one that might shock you the most: vitamin D. We've all heard how vital it is for strong bones, for our mood, even for our immune system. And yes, in moderation, all of that is absolutely true. But here's a crucial detail most seniors are never told. Too much vitamin D, especially when taken before bed, can quietly, slowly increase your risk of a stroke. I know it sounds counterintuitive. It certainly shocked me when I first truly understood the mechanism. I've seen it with my own patients. Take Mr. Walter, a 74-year-old retired Navy veteran. He was incredibly sharp, disciplined, always on top of his health. Every morning, like clockwork, he'd line up his supplements, including a 10,000 IU vitamin D capsule he bought over the counter. He genuinely believed he was protecting his bones, building them up. But what he didn't realize was that this seemingly simple, healthy routine was slowly, almost imperceptibly, pushing his body towards a silent disaster. One morning, his wife found him disoriented. His speech was slurred, his right arm limp. A stroke. It had happened overnight. His lab results revealed dangerously high calcium levels, stiff, narrowed arteries, and wildly fluctuating blood pressure. The culprit? Vitamin D toxicity. You see, when you take high doses of vitamin D, especially without proper medical guidance, it can cause calcium to accumulate in your bloodstream. Your body, struggling to manage this excess, begins depositing it into your arteries, making them rigid and narrow. And where do you think that can lead? A perfect pathway for a blood clot, heading straight for your brain. As we age, our arteries naturally become less flexible. Add in dehydration, poor sleep, and a sudden calcium surge at night, and you've created a perilous storm for a stroke. The scariest part? Often, there are no prior warning signs. You simply go to bed feeling fine and wake up with your life profoundly changed. And here's another thing many people don't realize. Many over-the-counter vitamin D supplements contain far more than older adults actually need. 5,000 IU, even 10,000 IU. People take these daily thinking more is better, but studies suggest that even 2,000 IU daily can be too much if you're not genuinely deficient. Let me be very clear. If you are taking vitamin D, especially alongside calcium or heart medications, it is absolutely vital to get your blood levels checked regularly. And always take it in the morning, never before bed. If that surprised you, just wait. The next vitamin we'll discuss is one many take for heart health, but in older adults, it can lead to something even more dangerous than a clot, a brain bleed. Let's talk about vitamin E. Vitamin E, often lauded as a heart helper. If you've been taking it for years, you're certainly not alone. Many people over 60 incorporate vitamin E into their routine, hoping it will support their heart, improve circulation, or even boost memory and skin health. But here's the crucial piece of information that rarely makes it onto the bottle label. Too much vitamin E, especially when combined with common heart medications, can dramatically increase your risk of bleeding in the brain. Yes, even if you're doing everything else right. Let me share a story I'll never forget. Mrs. Evelyn Brooks, 81, a retired librarian from Ohio. She was sharp, witty, always had a book in hand. She had a heart valve issue and was taking warfarin, a common blood thinner. Her doctors monitored her closely, her blood work was stable, her pressure fine. But then she saw an advertisement for a natural vitamin E supplement in a magazine and picked up a bottle, 800 IU per capsule. I thought it would help my memory and circulation, she told me later. 3 weeks later, she was rushed to the ER with a blinding headache, profound confusion, and vomiting. A brain scan showed a hemorrhagic stroke, bleeding inside the brain. Not due to high blood pressure, not from a fall, but because the combination of warfarin and that high-dose vitamin E had thinned her blood too much to clot. Just one fragile vessel in her brain gave way. Here's what most people don't fully grasp. Vitamin E, in high doses, acts like a natural anticoagulant. It slows clotting. If you're already taking aspirin, Plavix, or any other blood thinner, and then add vitamin E, your risk of internal bleeding quietly, insidiously rises. This is especially dangerous in the brain, where even a small bleed can steal your ability to speak, your memories, or your capacity to walk. And consider this. The recommended daily intake for older adults is only about 15 milligrams, which is roughly 22 IU. Yet most supplements on store shelves contain 200, 400, even 1,000 IU per capsule. No warnings, no consultations. And many people take them every single day for years. Mrs. Evelyn survived, but she now walks with a cane, and her short-term memory was never quite the same. Through tears, she told me, "I just wanted to help myself. I didn't know I was doing harm." And that's the part that truly breaks my heart, because she is not alone. So many seniors genuinely believe that if it's a vitamin, it must be safe. But the truth is, not every vitamin is safe, particularly when you're on heart or blood pressure medications. You absolutely must talk to your doctor before adding anything new. Now, if the idea of a brain bleed wasn't frightening enough, there's another vitamin, often taken for nerve support and energy, that can quietly damage your nerves, sometimes permanently. Let's talk about vitamin B6. Vitamin B6. You've probably seen it on pharmacy shelves, labeled as a nerve support or brain booster. It claims to help with energy, focus, and even memory. Perhaps someone even suggested it was good for aging nerves. But here's what most seniors are never warned about. Too much vitamin B6 can actually damage your nerves, sometimes permanently. Let me tell you about Mr. Harold Jenkins, 76, a retired truck driver from Kansas. He came into my office because his feet felt numb, his hands tingled, and his balance was off. At first, he simply thought it was just age. Then he started falling, first once, then again. The third time, he hit his head on the bathroom floor. When I reviewed his supplements, the issue became clear almost immediately. He'd been taking a nerve support formula for over a year. The label touted brain health and circulation benefits, but inside each tablet was 100 milligrams of vitamin B6. And he was taking 2 tablets per day. That's 200 milligrams daily, over 10 times the recommended safe upper limit for seniors. Now here's the frightening part. Unlike some vitamins that your body simply flushes out, B6 builds up in your system over time. And in older adults, this accumulation can damage the protective coating around your nerves, almost like stripping insulation off a wire. The result? Tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, tremors, even confusion or memory issues. What's worse, the symptoms creep in slowly. Many people mistake them for arthritis, or just getting old, or even early dementia. But in reality, it could be B6 toxicity, a slow, preventable kind of nerve damage caused by a pill meant to help, and it can be permanent if not caught early. Mr. Jenkins was fortunate. We stopped the supplement, and the damage didn't progress, but he still uses a cane and no longer drives. He told me, "I just wanted to protect my brain. I didn't realize I was poisoning it." Let's be clear, vitamin B6 is important, but in very small amounts. Older adults only need about 2 to 10 milligrams per day, and that includes what you get from food. Yet many brain support pills sold online or in stores contain 50, 100, even 200 milligrams. That's not just unnecessary, it's dangerous. So if you're taking any supplement that mentions nerve, brain, or energy, please check the label. Know your numbers. You might be thinking, at least some vitamins like A must be safe. It's just for eyesight, right? Well, not exactly. Let's talk about vitamin A. If you're like most older adults, you've probably heard that vitamin A is essential for good eyesight. Perhaps you've even taken it for your immune system, or skin health, or because someone said it helps you age gracefully. But here's what almost no one tells you, especially if you're over 60. Too much vitamin A doesn't just sit quietly in your system. It builds up, and over time, it can increase pressure inside your skull, mimicking a stroke, damaging your vision, and even affecting your brain. Let me tell you about Miss Dorothy Simmons. She was 79, a retired piano teacher from Oregon. She loved music, taught students from her living room, and took immense pride in staying independent. But one day she started getting headaches. Then came blurred vision, then dizziness, and then her speech became slurred. Her family feared the worst, a stroke. But when we ran her scans, something surprising showed up. No clot, no bleeding. Instead, she had elevated intracranial pressure, too much pressure inside her brain. Her spinal fluid was backed up. Tiny veins in her brain were under immense stress. The cause? Vitamin A toxicity. She'd been taking a high-dose skin and eye supplement for over 5 years, nearly 10,000 IU per day, every single day, without realizing the potential harm. Here's the critical difference with vitamin A. It's fat-soluble. That means your body stores it in your liver, your tissues, even your brain. It doesn't simply flush out like vitamin C or B vitamins. And as we age, our liver naturally slows down, so that buildup happens even faster. When there's too much vitamin A in the body, it can lead to a condition called pseudotumor cerebri, or false brain tumor. The symptoms are alarming: headaches, blurred or double vision, dizziness, nausea, even permanent vision loss or cognitive decline. The tricky part is that many multivitamins already contain the full recommended dose of vitamin A. But some people, like Ms. Dorothy, unknowingly double or triple that by adding skin, eye, or anti-aging formulas on top. The safe upper limit for seniors is roughly 2,500 to 3,000 IU per day, and that's only if genuinely needed and under medical supervision. But many supplements sold online contain 5,000, 10,000 IU or more. Taken daily for months or years, it's easy to see how the damage builds up. Ms. Dorothy is slowly recovering, but she now needs regular eye exams, pressure checks, and balance therapy. She told me, "I thought I was doing something good for my body. I never imagined it could hurt my brain." And that's why I share her story, because it's not about scaring anyone. It's about ensuring you have the facts so you can protect yourself and your precious independence. Now, if you thought eyesight vitamins were risky, wait until you hear what happens when a vitamin meant for cholesterol and heart health suddenly, dangerously, spikes your blood pressure. Let's talk about niacin, also known as vitamin B3. Niacin, or vitamin B3, it's often praised as a natural way to lower cholesterol, and some doctors even prescribe it for that purpose. You'll also find it in heart health supplements, energy drinks, and even fortified cereals. But here's what's often left out of the conversation, especially for older adults. Niacin, in high doses, can quietly cause serious swings in your blood pressure and even trigger a stroke. Let me introduce you to Mr. Frank Miller, 82, a retired postman from Florida. He came to see me with a strange mix of symptoms: sudden hot flashes in his face, a pounding sensation in his chest, dizziness that came and went, especially in the mornings. His wife thought it was anxiety. His son blamed his blood pressure medication. But the real cause was something no one had thought to check. Mr. Miller had been taking an over-the-counter, heart-healthy supplement. The front label promised supports cholesterol and circulation. The back, 1,000 milligrams of niacin per serving. He was taking it twice a day. That's 2,000 milligrams daily, over 60 times the amount most seniors actually need. Here's what happens when you take niacin in high doses. It causes your blood vessels to suddenly expand, which is why your face might flush or feel warm. But shortly after, those same vessels snap back and constrict. This sudden yo-yo effect can drastically raise your blood pressure, stress your heart, and critically, reduce blood flow to your brain. Over time, this constant tightening and relaxing is like tapping a hammer on fragile glass. Eventually, something gives. Mr. Miller had what's called a transient ischemic attack, or TIA, a mini-stroke. His speech slurred for 2 minutes, then returned. He thought it was a fluke. I had to tell him the hard truth. His daily supplement, meant to help his heart, was quietly harming his brain. And he's not alone. Many seniors take high-dose niacin without even realizing it. They buy flush-free or extended-release forms online, thinking it's safer. But even those versions can still raise blood pressure, trigger atrial fibrillation, and affect blood sugar levels. Here's what you need to know. For older adults, anything above 50 milligrams of niacin per day should only be used under strict medical supervision. And if you have high blood pressure, heart rhythm issues, or are on medication, please check your labels. Mr. Miller is now off niacin. He's recovering, thankfully with no permanent damage. But he told me something I won't forget. Doc, I thought I was doing everything right. I didn't know I was gambling with my brain. So now that we've walked through 5 common vitamins, each with the potential to quietly harm your brain, you might be asking, what should I take instead? Or even better, what should I eat? Let's talk about real food, the kind that protects your brain without the risks. By now you might be wondering, if these vitamins can be risky, what should I do instead? It's an excellent question, because the truth is, your body wasn't designed to run on pills. It was built to thrive on real, whole, natural, nutrient-rich food, the kind your brain recognizes, absorbs, and uses in just the right amounts. Let me tell you about Mrs. Margaret Wilson. She's 73, a retired school principal from Arizona. When I first met her, she pulled out a drawer full of supplements: vitamin D for bones, vitamin E for her heart, B-complex for energy, niacin for cholesterol, a multivitamin, and a few others for brain support. I'm doing everything right, Doc, she said, but she was feeling dizzy in the mornings. Her balance was off. Her blood pressure kept climbing. Something just wasn't adding up. So we did something radical. We cleared the clutter. One by one, we gently took away the pills and replaced them with food. No magic diet, no fancy program, just simple whole foods at the right time, in the right combinations. Here's what her typical breakfast looked like. 1 boiled egg for clean protein, half an avocado rich in healthy fats, a slice of whole grain toast for slow, steady energy, a handful of blueberries loaded with brain protective antioxidants, and a glass of room temperature water to hydrate the brain. Sometimes she'd add a few walnuts or almonds. That was it. No powders, no pills, just food. Real, recognizable, nourishing food. Within just a few weeks, Maggie noticed a profound difference. Her dizziness faded, her blood pressure stabilized, her energy returned, and she told me her mind felt clearer than it had in years. Here's why it worked. Your brain needs hydration, healthy fats, consistent fuel, and micronutrients in their natural form. It doesn't need megadoses. It needs balance. Some of the best foods for older adults include leafy greens like spinach and kale, rich in folate and antioxidants, fatty fish like salmon or sardines, full of omega-3s to protect brain cells, berries for polyphenols that reduce inflammation, nuts and seeds for vitamin E, magnesium and brain-healthy fats, and whole grains to keep blood sugar stable and support circulation. And remember, these foods don't just protect your brain, they support your heart, your bones, your mood, and your mobility too. You're not just eating, you're healing with every bite. This is your final wake-up call. At this stage in life, every single choice matters more. And the truth is, it's not just the pills you take, but what you truly understand about them that genuinely protects you. Your body at 60, 70, or 80 simply doesn't process supplements the same way it did decades ago. Even well-meaning habits, like taking vitamins, can quietly backfire if you're not careful. That's why awareness is your most powerful medicine. You don't need to fear vitamins, but you do need to respect them. Read the labels. Ask your doctor. And most importantly, listen to your body, especially when it whispers. If any part of this video resonated with you, tell me in the comments what's one change you'll make starting tomorrow. If you found this helpful, please give it a like to help others find it too, and subscribe so we can keep learning, growing, and staying strong together.